What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So what a match, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a Juve fan, you know how stressful this match was. First match of the new year, a 1-0 win with a goal from the free kick from Milik. What a game. Let's get straight into this review. So obviously we went into this game with quite a few injuries, quite a few players missing. Regardless, there still wasn't any room for excuses for this game because obviously Cremonese, they aren't a really tough side. But boy, was it a crazy game. So we started the match off where Cremonese mostly had the big chances throughout the first half, especially that first 20-30 minutes. We really struggled to gain control of the ball, create a lot of chances. Sule was our main guy in attack in that first half. He was attacking a lot, cutting into his left, shooting with his left. Apart from two shots on target from Sule and a cross, which was kind of like a shot from Kostic, I can't really tell you much about the first half when it comes to Juventus. Juventus, obviously, they conceded 2 goals, in fact, that first half, but they were both disallowed. The first one was miscommunication between, it was either Gatti, it was either Fagioli, who both miscommunicated with Szczesny, who came out to claim the ball. They didn't claim the ball, and then the player shot on goal with an open net. Bremer cleared that, but I'm not too sure whether it was a foul prior or whether it was an offside or whether the ball simply hadn't crossed the line. I'm not too sure. I do know that Bremer did clear though, and then I think it was called for offside, but I'm not too sure because it was a bit confusing. Then the second goal was a foul on Danilo. I'll be honest, it was kind of a soft foul on Danilo, but the foul was called and then the player scored. Perhaps on a different day we wouldn't have gone away with that, but fortunately for us, what was given. Going into the second half, Allegri didn't really change the game up much. There was the same game plan with the same players. Cremonese even hit the post twice the second half, once where it was a really good chance for them to score, which they didn't, and another time where from the angle that the player shot the ball, it wasn't really realistic for him to score. It just hit the post. But after 15-20 minutes, Allegri started to make a few changes to the lineup. Brought on Chiesa and Keane, if I'm not mistaken, initially. Then he brought on Rabiot and Paredes in order for Locatelli to push further up the pitch, considering he was playing as a regista for most of the game. More of his technical ability, he did decide to bring Paredes so he can play as a regista rather than Locatelli. And super late on in the game, I thought the substitution should have came way earlier in like the 70th minute. He brought on Milik Jr. Kostic had a really bad last 15-20 minutes, so in my opinion, should have been subbed off way before. He did get subbed off. And in the second half, there was a period where Cremonese genuinely could have scored, and it could have been very, very nasty for us. There was a good 15-20 minutes where they were dominating the game, and it became really hard for us to gain the ball. Thankfully, obviously, they got tired, and then we started attacking. In the last 10-15-20 minutes, something like that, we were attacking and holding possession. Then Rabiot got fouled outside of the box. It was Paredes and Milik, if I'm not mistaken, who were the ones standing near the ball for the free kick. But then Milik scored the decisive goal in the 91st minute. There's a huge gap in the wall, if I'm not mistaken. He shot through that gap and then he scored in the corner of the goal, 1-0 Juventus. And then we defended to like the 96th, 97th minute, despite the fact there were only 5 minutes of added time. Obviously, that mainly has to do with the fact that we obviously celebrate the goal. And to be honest, although I am very satisfied with this win, it's our 7th win in a row. If I'm not mistaken, our 7th clean sheet in a row, which is very impressive considering how bad the start of the season was. I really want us to play a more attacking game against Udinese. It seems like when we're away from home, we really tend to play for the simple 1-0 win. It does really seem like we tend to play way more comfortably when we are at home. We do have Juventus versus Udinese coming up, so I really expect the team to play a more comfortable and maybe even more attacking game, which we really need because you can't rely all the time on 1-0 wins here and there. You need to have that at least 2-goal gap or even 1-goal gap. I mean, this is a 1-goal game. We're getting that late on in the game. We should be getting a goal way earlier. I think that's the main issue with us. But again, let's hope that it has to do mainly with us playing at home or away. And let's quickly get on to the table because now we are 7 points off first place and keep that 2-point gap between us and Milan. Milan obviously won earlier in the day, 2-1 against Salernitana. Napoli just lost against Inter 1-0, which I think that does the entire league a huge favor because it really opens up the Scudetto race. That's why I think this Udinese game is going to be very important because if we do win against Udinese, we'll probably play a very defensive game against Napoli. And even if we do get out of that game with a draw, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world considering that we are just going to share points with Napoli. So overall, I am satisfied with this win. But as I said before, let's hope Juventus could step up their game in the next game and get a couple more goals. We do have the best defense in Serie A with only 7 goals conceded. We just need to step up our game when it comes to attack. Anyways, let me know your thoughts and comments down below. What do you think about this game? If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, more kind of content. I'll see you in the next one.